Good day, Father Matt Williams here. I'm on my last day at the Theology of the Body Institute, and I'm getting ready to head home. We're actually just cleaning up right now, and so I'm outside. We're actually at this storage facility, putting things away. And it's something. It's very interesting. In the Gospel today, Jesus says that your righteousness needs to surpass that of the scribes and the Pharisees. And the problem with the Pharisees is that if you looked at them from the outside, you'd say, well, what's wrong with them? Like, they do everything according to the law. Like, they do what God asked them to do in keeping the Ten Commandments. But the problem with the Pharisees is that inside, their lives weren't converted. Inside, they hadn't brought in the truth of what God was saying and like really try to convert their lives and their hearts. They hadn't interiorized the law of God. And so Jesus is teaching you, and he's teaching me, that to follow him means to be radically converted to him. And it means to want to live in his will. It means welcoming his truth and his life and his will and uniting our hearts with his, inviting that into our lives, that the new life of grace would penetrate us so deeply that it would change the way that we behave from the inside out. It's not just a matter of thou shalt not kill, but it means Jesus is calling us the way that we look at unforgiveness in our lives, the way that we look at anger in our lives, the way we treat people, the way we hold bitterness in our hearts, that Jesus wants to come in and transform that. It's not just about not killing a person, but it's also about being changed within. It's about allowing that grace to come in. As we look at these storage bins here, these storage bins can be reminiscent of our hearts at times, that sometimes when people hurt us, when things go wrong in our lives, we have a tough memory, that we can put it into a storage place in our hearts and lock it in there and pretend that it doesn't exist, and that, oh, look I'm free, Jesus. Look at my whole life right here. Forget about that storage bin in the back. Look at my whole life. I'm free. Life is great. And the reality is that storage bin has a cancer in there that's giving life, or should I say taking life and growing. And Jesus, through his gospel, wants to come in and unlock this key right here. He wants to unlock this door, or the door of our hearts, and come inside to set us free. Now, I can't do it. My heart can be like a clamshell at times. Like when you've been hurt, you can't do it on your own. You need God's grace. You need to first bring it to him in prayer. Jesus, my heart is broken. Like, I got stuff going on in my life. Lord, I got stuff in my life that I'm not proud of, or stuff in my life that's been hurtful and painful, and it's hard for me to go there. Jesus, will you help me? And that's what he wants. This Lent is an invitation to open our hearts, or to ask Jesus to come into our hearts, to bring that pain, to bring that stuff to him, to ask him to touch it in a profound way with his grace. With his grace. It's always with his grace. He meets you and me where we are at. Isn't that beautiful? He meets us where we're at. So Jesus today invites us to not be like the scribes and the Pharisees, who did things to be seen, who are more about the outward conforming and not about the inward transformation. Today, Jesus wants to come inside, come into our hearts, to open up these doors and to let out all the junk. I forgive this person in the name of Jesus. I renounce unforgiveness. I renounce anger. I renounce these things. Lord, come into my heart like a river and set me free. I'm praying for you. Jesus is Lord. He can heal all hearts. Let's ask him in a special way to come into our lives anew, so that we may be transformed from the inside out. God bless you.